Warning: Josh is not an expert in any of the things he talks about. He simply uses his head and does a lot of research so you, the audience, don't have to. Keep in mind, he doesn't know everything, so take the things he says with a grain of salt. What is going on, everyone? This is Josh Said What, the podcast that'll change the world. I have here with me a very, very special guest. He is the PFA Ring Announcer. He's the one and only Ryan Hollimon. What's up, my guy?
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. Josh said what? Josh said what?
No, yeah. Hey, if I ever say something stupid online, then everybody's going to be like, wait, Josh said what?
Yeah, exactly. It's great. It's a great... You know what? It's really deep. You know, you're just like, I'm preparing for my inevitable just screw up so that Josh said, what?
Yeah, exactly. But hey, we're here at your cousin's shop, the Electric Haven Barber/Tattoo Shop, right?
It's actually my brother-in-law.
Okay.
Mr. Eric Killian. This is Electric Haven Tattoo and Barber Shop. Out here, Tempe, Arizona, McClintock, and Southern. I know they have some great Friday the 13th specials coming up. For October, it's going to get real spooky in here.
Hey, that's what's up.
Better than Halloween at Disneyland, let me tell you, because tattoos are involved.
Yeah, exactly. But so, tell me about yourself. You know, how long you been a ring announcer?
I started doing this about 2.5 years ago with Rage in the Cage. I had no prior desire. I never thought I would be doing what I'm doing right now. I used to do stand-up. In my 20s.
Okay.
And I don't know. I had a kid. I stopped doing stand-up. I was working at it as a cowboy, and that's 364 days a year. So there was no time to do stand-up. So it just took a while. And I've done shows here and there, but no, I was at the fight. I think it was their second or third fight, Rage, when they came back, and Todd came up and asked me and my buddy to corner Justin Kaiback. He didn't have a team. He was independent at the time, so like his kid needs a corner.
Damn.
You know, and we were a little drunk. To be honest, we were enjoying the fight, and but it was something we talked about and dreamed of. You know, we're gonna go corner this kid. We don't know him, but we're gonna do our best. Mm-hmm. And so we cornered Justin. Was riding high, a little buzz, and I walked up to Todd, and I think it was Pat. Igor Badger was their announcer at the time.
Okay.
So I walked up to Todd and I was like, I can do that better.
I mean, hey, you got the voice for it.
Yeah, and so he called my bluff and called me a couple days later and asked me to come try out. And it was a terrible first show. I didn't know what I was thinking. I'd only been to 2 fights before that, so it's not like I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know, there's no literature, there's nothing in the world that can tell you how to be a ring announcer except for going and watching other ring announcers. So it's just literally for 2 years I've just been winging it. Doing it just 2.5 years just winging it. But I have a lot of fun. It's probably the coolest thing in the world. I tell people all the time, like, if you could rate jobs, it's like astronaut, Jesus, ring announcer. It's right there.
I love it. And, you know, it's like where you're hitting the nail on the coffin there. You know, it's interesting, too, to see the dynamic of when you're in the audience watching the ring announcer and you have that. It's like, oh, I could do that. And then when you actually jump into it, it's a whole different ballgame dealing with all the cameras that's around there, the audience that's around you, the lights, and then trying to remember every single detail.
Yeah, so it's this thing that happens, I don't know, every time, even if I go to a comedy show when the crowd, the energy is just so good, like I have to get on the mic. I have to do it. Like there's that urge, and I think that was the same thing that happened, is that was all this energy in the room. These people are screaming and yelling, and it's just lights, and it's just, I was like, I can do this. And I was wrong for at least 2 to 3 fights, and then I kind of figured it out.
You found your swing.
Kind of, you know, a little bit, but it's every day, every fight is a new challenge. Every fight is, okay, what can I do better? How do I grow forward? But everyone has to do their own style, because there's, you know, I can get sailings for dummies. I learned how to sail in a book. I haven't tried my skills yet, but I was like, I'm going to learn how to sail, so I bought a book. Can't buy a book for ring announcing.
Yeah, it's great, especially because you have, like, not only do you have to remember every fighter's name, their gyms, who they're representing, but you also have to remember like who's sponsoring the event. You have to make sure that you kind of like just factor everything in.
Who am I shouting out to? I'm also watching the crowd. Like, watching their language. It's a live production. It's not like we're a big arena where you're going to get drowned out. No, everything that someone's yelling in the audience is going to be heard. So, you know, at least, like I tell them, just be original. You know, stop. Everybody needs to stop yelling, twist the dick. Okay? The old dick twist. We can't do that anymore. We can't just be the go-to for every fight. But it happens every time. We're like, come on, guys. We can be better. We can be better.
I've heard you say that too on the mic. You just hop on. It's like, come on, guys. At least be original. You could do better.
Yeah. I've seen the reel. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. But it's died. Okay? It's been beaten to death.
It's been twisted too many times.
Too many times. Too many twists. Too many twists. It's not an M. Night Shyamalan movie. All right?
Exactly.
Too many twists.
Exactly.
But it's been quite a journey. I'm super happy to be involved in this community. I've met a lot of great people, and made a lot of good friendships. I mean, look at I'm sitting here with you. We met like 5 or 6 fights ago. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. It had to been, I think, like March
when we were still with Rage.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, it's been a ride, and you guys do great work. Happy to have you guys on board with us. Like, it's just. I think we got good things coming for us in the future, man. It's going to be wild.
Yeah.
You guys got to stick with this guy. He's going to change the world, all right? It says it right there at the beginning of the podcast.
I love it. And, you know, I don't know if I told you the numbers yet, but I think between the first and second PFA event that we covered with all of the Wayne interviews, the highlight reels, we had to gross, like, at least 100,000 views and at least, like, 160,000 impressions. So like it's gaining traction. What we're doing is gaining traction with PFA, with the fighters, like across the board.
We have to use this social media effectively, because we know the older guys. Rob was promoting fights. Last time he was promoting fights, there was no Instagram.
Yeah,
there was all word of mouth, radio shows, advertisements, and that stuff is kind of only effective so far these days. You have to have such a huge social media presence, and I think having you guys come on board with us was a great move, because it seems like you're able to get these videos, these clips and highlights out for us, out so people can see the stuff I've been begging for 2 years. And the other organization was like, these big hits, these big knockouts, we have to get these out and in front of people to show them that this is, yes, it's amateur fighting, but there's some crazy stuff that still happens.
Yeah.
Jorge Figueroa's fight.
Bro, I love that guy.
And
he is an animal.
I love Montrell. Like, I've seen him fight 3-4 times. I think that was only my first or second time seeing Jorge fight. But, man, just a monster. Just coming at him. Kept moving forward, took that leg away from him. It was such a good fight. We have these good fights, and we just need people to come and see that our matchmaking is on point right now. I don't think there's anybody who's putting on a show, at least for kickboxing, in the Southwest that's even coming close to what we've provided in the last 2 fights. So. Yeah,
like the notoriety that's already built so far is phenomenal. Like, that was only the second time I've seen Jorge fought, but I saw him fight. I don't think it was his debut, but I saw him fight for like Rough Nation, like earlier in the year, and he actually fought Dustin Gazik on that card too.
Oh yeah, that's right, he did.
He beat Dustin, and you know, I didn't even click in my head at the time that was Dustin, because then at PFA 1, when I was talking with Dustin, he got that finish, and I interviewed him, and then at PFA 2, I see him there too, and then it just clicked together, and I was like, oh shit! Like that's the crazy part at the amateur level, is seeing how closely knit everything is together. It's such a small world,
and then watching them. I've seen fighters their first fight and then take that belt. Again, it's amateur, but they're still the champ. They're still and watching them grow to become these people. It's been absolutely astounding for me. Like, I never thought I'd be here. You know,
Same.
I'm a land surveyor. I measure the earth. Okay, that's my job. I measure the earth and I lay stuff out. That's and my comedy career wasn't great. People ask me why I still don't do comedy, and I'm like, well, obviously I wasn't that good at it. or else I'd still be doing it.
It's a passion sport.
It's something like I can call my buddy Sean McCarthy. He's actually the one who got me. I wrestled in high school.
Oh, okay.
And I worked with this gentleman, Sean McCarthy. He's an actor, comedian, and he worked with me, and I used to drive him to his comedy shows. He hosted his own show, and he would always have me take him. And then one day in the car, I said something funny. He's like, "You're going on stage right now, and you're telling a joke." And I started to do stand-up, and I was so uncomfortable on stage. He started showing me how to box. He boxed at the Wild Card Gym for 17 years.
Oh, wow.
So he just started teaching me how to box. I lost 140, 150 pounds in a couple of years just boxing, and then started doing Muay Thai, then Jiu-Jitsu, and then I rolled the wrong way out of an omoplata, and
Oh, that fuck up your shoulder?
It messed everything up. All my momentum just went away, but I tore up my shoulder. I still that's about it.
Damn.
That's what I get out of it.
Damn.
So, ladies and gentlemen watching at home, do not monkey roll out of an omoplata. Just don't do it. You can't do it.
It doesn't work out too well.
Doesn't work out too well. Those wrestling moves don't really work with jiu-jitsu. It's a hard lesson to learn.
Yeah. What was your favorite discipline to work?
Boxing.
Boxing. That's your home. That's your bread and butter.
I love boxing so much. I just everything, all the rhythm, everything you have to do. Like I'd say my favorite exercise is jumping rope.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, it doesn't look it, I know, okay, but I'm a dad now, and just I don't have the time. All right, I work full time. I can't get there. It's hard.
Yeah.
But boxing honestly was the funnest. Wrestling was too much work, but I did it for 4 years. I've done jiu-jitsu on and off for the past 10 years, and I'm just, white belt for life, hashtag white belt for life. That's just what I'm running with.
It's okay. I'm still a white belt guy because I've been so inconsistent with being able to stay in the gym, especially now doing all this extra stuff now. It's so damn near impossible to stay consistent because that's the whole point of leveling up and upgrading on your belt is to stay consistent.
Yeah, you have to stay consistent. You can't just bounce in and out. It's not Taekwondo. Okay, let's be real. You're not just gonna. Well, I started last year and I'm already a black belt. This is the craziest. It's a journey. It is a journey, and it takes a lot of commitment. And if you're trying to start a business and you have a full-time job and you're also a single father yourself, I know, and it gets hard. It's hard. So that's why I just scream at strangers for 8 hours. That's how I'm staying in the game.
Yeah, that's how I am. It's like, hey, I just get to talk to fighters. I love that. And, I've always done customer service and sales. So I wouldn't say be behind the camera, but being behind the microphone was already kind of my bread and butter because I knew how to talk.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just an easy transition for you. Sales is the same thing. You're just presenting yourself. Trying to get someone to give you money, so that's and this you're just trying to get them to talk, and so you gotta be good with your words.
Yeah, although it took some getting used to being behind the camera because it's like it's easy to be behind the mic and have the anonymity. My speech impediment there.
It's okay. It's right.
Have the anonymousness to it, but then when you're actually behind the camera with the fighter, it's like, okay. Like with you being ring announcer, I have to make sure I pronounce the name right. I don't say something dumb. Josh said what? I don't say the wrong gym, stuff like that, or like the wrong predictions, calls. It's like I always say it's kind of like a love-hate relationship with me doing the editing and the interviews because I get to admire and respect so many of these fighters that when I see them fight each other or if I see them go with somebody else and they lose, it's such a heartbreak. Like especially with the highlight reels, it's Jose Sanchez, that one was hard to edit, and a couple other guys on there.
I don't even know how to tell you. I love Amadou, and I love Jose, but Jose is like my boy.
Yeah.
And it was just hard just to watch him get dropped like that and just have to sit there ringside just like, oh, he's hurt. You didn't even know his jaw was broken.
He broke his jaw?
Yeah.
No shit?
All that adrenaline, that shock. He was walking around talking all night long. No, I think his jaw was broken. That's
a dog right there.
Yeah. That was hard. That's one of the things that people don't get. It was like I'm building these relationships with these fighters. You guys don't even know when you guys get in the ring, when these guys get in there, that how much I'm just rooting for them, and I'm standing there trying to keep it like I have to be neutral.
Yeah.
You know, I can't one or the other. But it comes out. You can hear me. You know, you can you can tell when I'm announcing who I'm like a big fan of, because I got to give them everything I got, and that's why I can't save my voice for the main event ever. Usually I just get too excited.
Yeah.
It's just so exciting. It's just so crazy to be up there and doing that. It's so crazy.
That's how I think the first few events that I ever covered, because I was still getting used to the concept of that I have to be neutral. I can't necessarily show the bias, especially when you're a media crew on the cage recording content. The first couple of fights, like my boys, Devin, Trenton, Brandon, when they were fighting, representing like Havasu City, oh yeah, I was screaming, I was hooting and hollering. When Devin won, I got so excited that Matt Stanger, rip Matt Stanger, 'cause he had passed away, me and him were just like high-fiving the shit out of each other, and I was banging my chest. I was so excited. I had a big old bruise right here from just banging my chest. Like, bro,
you get into it. I mean, it's hard not to. Like, I know you love the sport. I don't watch any other sports, but combat sports. Like, my favorite bar right now, I can't go on Sunday. So I go every Sunday for breakfast, me and the kid, and now I can't go because it's just surrounded by people screaming at each other about football. It's like, they're not even hitting each other. You're getting all excited about.
For real. That's why it's like it can't. James, like, he's into all of it. So like last night we covered a high school football game, and it's entertaining, but I just love combat sports so much more.
Yeah.
Just the camaraderie, the respect, and then just the raw technique factor that plays into all of it is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, and people get it. It's fun too, being amateur and watching these kids come up, because they're bringing people who would never otherwise go to a live fight, and they always come up and tell me, I didn't know this was going to be like this. This was awesome. I'm like, yeah, it's great. It's fights. It's like these are gladiators. This is bread and circus. Let's enjoy it. You know.
Yeah, and it's what's cool about it too is that, like, I've had this conversation before where people talk about like the sense of greed and the vanity, where it's like these fighters coming up onto the stage or the ring just to have that glory, but at the same time, it's the fruits of their labor, because casual fans don't see the blood, sweat, and tears they put themselves through, the hardships, the isolation they go through just to have this one moment of glory. So it's like, I always have such a counter opinion to people that try to dog on fighters like that. It's like, no, like, this is what they deserve. When they get that win, after all the hard work and the sacrifices they made, this is what makes it worth it.
Yeah, because they're not getting paid to train. They're not coming in there to win any money. They work full-time jobs. Then they come and they give everything they can, hoping they don't get injured, because they still have to work on Monday.
Yeah.
And it's just so great. It's just such a good thing to be a part of. And I hope that people understand, like, yeah, I've seen guys that walk in there that probably shouldn't have walked into the ring. They still did it. It's still their dream. They're still chasing something. And I'm excited to just keep seeing where this goes, and hopefully we can start doing some pro fights here and bigger venues, more exciting shows. And that's what we're trying to bring. And we need you guys to come follow us so that we can grow and do these things, because I don't think anybody – maybe Rise puts on a pretty good show. Yeah, Jen down there in Tucson, she puts on a pretty good show, but I don't think anyone's doing what we're doing with kickboxing. MMA, I think we're coming up with next year. Yeah. So I think January, February we'll do our first MMA show, but it's all just so much fun to watch and be there. And I don't know, I'm just going to keep talking about it.
No, that's how I am too. That's why with Josh Said What, it's just about anything and everything.
Anything and everything.
Yep, exactly. And I don't think I've ever seen another promotion too, especially here in the state of Arizona, where it's doing Muay Thai, it's doing kickboxing, and it's doing the hands-only
fighting. Like, let's just get it all on a show. Let's get it, showcase as many fighters as we can. Get their family there, because who else is doing it? Like, there's a lot of boxing promotions, and there's a lot. There's a lot to weed through. But maybe 2 kickboxing shows here in town.
Yeah. I know there's probably like a good few MMA shows across the state, and then like even you go California, Nevada, but I mean otherwise across the West Coast you don't really see too much of the Muay Thai, the kickboxing dynamic.
And Muay Thai is growing so fast as a sport. I don't know if it'll ever be up at the levels of boxing or MMA, but it's still just an entertaining show.
Yeah.
And the first time I sparred with someone throwing kicks, I wasn't ready. Kept getting kicked, and I decided to slip, and then bam, kicked in the face. I'm like, it's a lot of fun watching people get kicked in the face. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just a lot of fun watching people get kicked in the face. I love Muay Thai, elbows, just all of it. Let's just do full left way. All right,
bro, that's a brutal sport.
If we could do full left way, let's do it. Headbutts, just all of it.
You know what blows my mind about Lethway too is that they have a break round where if you get knocked out, you still got a chance for your corner to wake you up and for you to go again. But if you get knocked out again, then it's a wrap. Like that's brutal.
Yeah, it's a lot of concussions. It's a lot of brain injuries.
Oh yeah, a lot of future CTE.
Shoot, I was talking to Rob and I was trying to talk him into bare knuckle.
Oh no shit!
It's legal in Arizona.
Is it really?
It's legal in Arizona. Yeah.
That's brutal.
I was like, they don't have a feeder league. It's literally people fighting, and then I feel like they have nowhere else to go, so they go to bare knuckle. But what if we just started a small feeder league, just once a year, do a good bare knuckle fight, and just to get these,
get their feet wet, get that experience and the exposure.
Yeah, get cut up real bad for no money. We just want you to try it, see if it's what you want to do,
see if it's actually worth it.
See if it's actually worth it.
I love it.
Amateur bare knuckle. I don't see a problem with it, but it's legal in Arizona, so you know we should give it a shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Give it a shot.
I mean, hey, what doesn't hurt you makes you stronger.
Exactly. It's like we'll just get some hay bales. We'll do it in my cousin Jimmy's backyard. We'll be fine. We'll just knock it out.
That'd be hilarious.
What is that? Street beefs? What is that?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
dude, they do some wild shit.
That's some crazy stuff. And I'm like, I got to get on this show. I got to get on there. How do I get on this show? Who do I call? Because street beefs. That's where it's.
And it's funny. You see some wild characters there. Like, you could definitely tell there are some people that goes into that shouldn't be stepping in. But there's actually some pretty good prospects. Yeah. Like Joseph Perez. He's I forget what his full background is, but he's an MMA fighter that's based over in Peoria. And, bro, I think his first fight was like a backyard fight like that. He starched the dude with the head kick. He starched him. Like, he went full, like, stiff board, fell back. Like, it was a wrap.
It's fun to watch people get kicked in the face. You just can't stress it enough.
Yeah.
It's the best part.
Yeah.
It's the best part.
Exactly. And so tell me, because I know you want to start your own show, right?
Yes.
Like, what's kind of your goal and like what are you wanting to do with that?
No idea, Josh. So Mel Carey, Flash Media, he last year came up to me and told me that we're making you a podcast. We're going to get you a show. He's like, you just to do whatever you want. And I'm like, I don't know what that is, though. So I think it would just be me just finding people I'm interested in. Mm-hmm. I do have an out to meet some really cool people.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just being a ring announcer and bringing in people I meet at the fights. For all I know, I just want to talk to people and have an out for building my brand, as a ring announcer, and also I do eventually want to get back into writing and get back into stand-up.
Hey.
Just so busy right now, I think the podcast would be a good way for me to find my jokes, because I don't tell like punchlines. I tell stories.
Yeah.
So like that's my style. It's like I like to have this is stuff that really happened in my life to me, and it's hilarious. So.
I honestly feel like that's the best kind of style, like comedy too, is to be able to have a story in it, because you're able to carry the interest and the draw and kind of get the full circle with it with the comedy.
Mm-hmm. It's just that's where I want to get back to. I know that having this platform as the announcer kind of gives me a little bit of leeway. I have people that come and see me. They enjoy what I do. Mm-hmm. I think just having an out for them to see what I really think and how, I've done a lot of crazy stuff in my life.
Oh, yeah?
And I think just getting to do the things I've done, I've learned a whole bunch, especially just where I'm at now. Like, I get to see some really cool things. I get to meet really cool people, and I want to talk to them and get to know them, and I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
So everybody else can talk to them and get to know them, too, because why not?
Exactly.
We have people like Luke Levanway. Everyone's going to know his name in 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
that dude's an animal. That one spinning kick that he did against Jamison Weber at PFA 1, I'm so mad that I didn't get a good shot of it only because the ref was in the way of it. It was like, bro, but that was such a wild shot. And he transitioned to it with the spinning back fist, I think, as well.
Yeah, he was a former MLS player. So he was a Major League Soccer player, and then COVID hit. And he's like, well, we're not playing soccer. I'm going to go learn how to fight. Now look at where he's at. He's going to go pro at the end of the year. And, everyone is going to know his name in 5 years. And I'm wearing his shirt right now. It's Luke Levanway. He's the one kicking in the shirt. But we have these stars that people are going to know, and we can, like Jorge, like I can sit down with him and get a good introduction to him to people as his thing grows, so they can always come back and be like, this is who Jorge Figueroa is. It's an interesting I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I have an interesting position to get myself in a way that I can sit down and talk to people and get there.
It's a good feeder for you, because it's not like you're just starting from the very bottom where you have no resources, no connections with it. You have the opportunity right now to be able to, once you jump into it, you already probably have a list of 50 to 100 people that you would love to bring on, that you could go through the full thing with.
Yeah, I've already talked to most of them. Everyone, I know who I'm going to start with just to kind of get the feel. I'll just do like friends and things like that just to get that, okay, well, how do I want this to go? And then start working into it. I know I'm going to call Rob. I know you had talked to Rob Alexander. He's going to be one of the first. Mark from Eminent Wellness, have him in there because I love what he's doing. One time after one of Luke's first or second fights with us, I went and sat with him after the fight, and we just talked for hours about like health, nutrition, what Mark at Eminent Wellness is doing, and all that stuff. And he's been begging me to get in there, and I'm just been putting it off, but I got to get in there. Hyperbaric therapy, that's going to be great. So those are some people I've been thinking about talking to. Of course, my boy Eric, who's letting us use his space today. He's an interesting guy. He's been working at the Nile Theater for 15 years as a security guard as well, and I know he's got some crazy stories.
Oh, I bet.
He's got some crazy stuff. I mean, he had ICP was there a few weeks ago, and I was like, don't tell me what happened. I need to, okay?
I need to know that for when you do a show.
I need to know everything about the Juggalos, all right? I don't like them, but I need to know everything about them.
Exactly.
And
get the inside scoop.
Yeah, I want to know what they're thinking. How do they, what's going on in there? Why the face paint? Why the Fago? Okay, how does one band keep an entire soda company alive for so long?
I love that. And you said that you got a lot of crazy stories. What would be one that you consider a crazy story?
Well, I mean, I just working cows and stuff. I had a lot of crazy stuff happen to me there, just doing stand-up. I guess I was doing a show in the west side of Phoenix, and it was probably one of my best sets ever. It was at this little country bar. As someone who is country and has cowboy, I usually don't fit around a lot with cowboys and rednecks. I just talk a lot of shit. And but we're doing this show, and it was I had a buddy that wanted to try stand-up. I brought him to the show, and he got to do his first set ever. And then in between his set and my set, this tweaker proposed to his tweaker girlfriend. Came up, asked to use the mic, did the whole thing, and it was one of the most beautiful moments I've ever witnessed in my life. Oh, they're gonna go steal some catalytic converters after this. He's gonna. It's like, this is so sweet. And then I went up, did one of the best sets I've ever done, but this old guy in the audience was really mad at the comics, and he had a didgeridoo. For some reason, just had the Australian instrument, a didgeridoo.
Yeah.
and he tried to fight one of the other comics
the
the parking lot with his didgeridoo. Came in yelling at me. He's like, "You guys, you all suck going in here. You're not funny." And he was trying to fight everybody. It was crazy. So we had the tweakers, the proposal, which was, let me tell you, if you can ever just watch two people who love each other as much as they love methamphetamines proclaim their love for each other, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful moment. And just weird stuff. It was a great night. It was one of the best nights of stand-up I think I ever did. I couldn't believe what was happening all around me. And I was like, I'm going to give the best show I can to these people. It was great. I've also done shows in rooms with one person in the audience, and it's one of the other comics' buddies who's just hanging out. And it was that. That's the entire crowd. And it's a weird thing because you kind of have to just keep telling your jokes. You don't just walk away. You're like, oh, I got
quite literally a one-man show.
I'm gonna walk through my material right here. This is rough. Sir, can you at least give me a chuckle? Just something. Give me something here.
He could pull up his phone, have crowd laughing on standby. So as soon as you say a funny joke, he's like, ha 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 ha.
Somebody buy this man a beer. Oh, there's nobody in here. I guess I will.
Exactly.
But it's just I've done a lot of things. I worked after the recession, when everything hit hard, I was working at this medical records and storage facility. It was a call center. We stored medical records for the elderly, things like that, provide medical identification cards. Come to find out, we were just stealing money from old people.
No shit.
Got raided by the FBI.
Wow.
It was wild. It was crazy. When U.S. Marshals and the FBI are showing up at your work, you realize you're in a bad spot.
Damn. Did you get arrested?
No, I did. I was a customer service manager. I was the one trying to head off why are all these attorney generals so mad? This is weird. This doesn't feel right.
Damn, that's crazy. So what happened in that situation?
The owner got in a lot of trouble, but he didn't know what was going on. His managers were doing all of it.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah. They were just, so they would find the people who didn't have family or anyone looking out for them, and they kept them in a special folder, and there was this back room of people that were doing calls. We never worked. They were worked separately from our main call room.
Oh, damn.
So those guys, all they were doing is they were going through all these people that they figured out didn't have family or anyone watching out for them, would just keep reselling them the product.
So they basically didn't have a safety net to be able for someone to catch on and be like, hey, no, stop spending this money. This is a scam that's going on.
And they just kept doing it. And then they had whole employees that weren't working there, just paying into an account. Like they would write up paycheck stubs and were just paying themselves extra out of these accounts.
Wow.
And then they would hire only work furlough and, people down on their luck so that they could manipulate them and take their money. If you came in late, you got your pay doc. But on paper, they didn't. They would just take that money out and put it back in their other account. So they were just stealing all this money, man. It was wild.
Wow.
It was wild.
So did it ultimately get shut down?
Yeah, they got.
Damn.
Yeah, they were.
I feel bad for the owner because he wasn't aware of it though, right?
No, he didn't know what was going on.
Damn.
Yeah, these guys just came in and ran him into the ground, and then
that's brutal.
I don't know how many lawsuits. I left there, and I don't even remember what was I doing after that. I think I went and worked in the mine in Kearney.
Oh, no shit.
After that, I was just I was doing this drive, and I got lost. I was trying to go into New Mexico through Luna, and I came south instead of going east, and I ended up coming from the north side of Safford into Morenci, and I'm driving. I'm like, this is beautiful country. No one ever talks about Morenci. Then you turn the corner, and one of the biggest open pit mines in the world's right there, and I was like, I got to see what's at the bottom. So I went and got a job working in a mine.
Damn,
just
that's
to see
crazy.
what was at the bottom.
Wow.
Did that for a while, and then got a job working at a feed yard. I grew up working cattle, and then in the summers with my grandpa. I'd spend my summers with my grandparents, and we would just go cowboy. And so I got a job for a couple of years doing that.
Okay.
Doesn't pay great. You really gotta love it. You really gotta love what you're doing to do that. But it was cool. I go to work every day, saddle my horse, and go ride pens. It was the only company vehicle I ever had up until now. and it was great on gas mileage. A little 14 hands high Palomino. It's my little trigger man. It was cool. It was a cool gig. I did that for a couple years, and then where else did I go? I did body work on RVs for a while.
Oh, okay.
So I can know how to fix them now. And
so you're kind of like a jack of all trades in that aspect.
Yeah, I just fell into things and I'm gonna give that a try. Worst job in the world, body working on RVs. That's
really?
You spend all day just sanding a 30-foot RV. It's 115 degrees outside, and just the worst job ever. All that fiberglass everywhere, but should have just been all over the place. Man, now I'm a surveyor. That's what I do. I think I found what I like. I enjoy that job. Three of the faces on Mount Rushmore were surveyors.
Oh, no shit.
Just cool gig.
So you know that you're coming from good beginnings.
Yeah. I just do a lot of math. That's it. I just walk, I hike, and do math.
Yeah,
that's all my job is. I hike and do math every day. It's been chill. I'm really hoping to not ever have to do it again really soon. So everybody watching this, please help me out by following me and supporting me through my career. So me and Josh can just do this all day. We both, this is what we want to do. So
yeah, hey, that's the goal. And the goal is to be able to be done with having to work the 9 to 5 and to turn the passion into a career.
Yep. So, and like I said, keep saying, I'm so happy I fell in. I had the courage, the one show, a little liquid courage. It's like, I can do it better than him. I'm so much better. I wasn't, but it.
Hey, it still got your foot in the door and it gets you going from there.
Yeah. It was just finally trusted my gut one time, and I was like, this was a good thing. So. And
you've only been doing this for about like 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Wow. So yeah, I started last May. Was it last May? Yeah, I'd say about like last May, or maybe a little earlier. So it's only been about 1.5 years for me.
Did you and James start together, or was James already running and you kind of jumped on with him?
So I started managing one of my boys to help him make his pro debut. At that first event, I ended up linking with MMA Stalker, and then I interned with them for a year. And then it was like literally just around the same time last year, like August, September, that James was at one of the rough events that we covered, and he ended up messaging me after the event and be like, hey, I love the work that you do. I want to reach out. I want to do this. I want to bring you on my show, Throwing Hands, because he originally started that. And he's the CEO, and he owns and runs ASAP Sports Network, which goes literally from coast to coast across all the different sports. And then we started doing the show, Throwing Hands. And we originally started talking about like UFC primarily, Bellator, a little bit of One, nothing really on an amateur level.
Yeah.
And then decided to go like, you know what? I like the idea of starting from the foundation up with these amateur fighters and growing with them. And so I kind of told James that idea, and then he was liking it. So we started doing that, interviewing local fighters, amateurs, starting pro. And then just since then, with he and I, we started covering events together. I parted with MMA Stalker on good terms. Yeah. We just the internship ended, but me and James, we just been covering events ever since, and it's been a fucking journey, bro.
Yeah, I see you guys are all over the place all the time. I'm like, I can't wait to do that. I'm just stuck here, Gilbert. No, it's really cool. I started following you guys when we met, and I've seen you guys. You guys are all over. I saw you in Cleveland or Ohio.
Oh,
a few months ago. I was like, what is Josh doing out there? It's like, it's crazy. Like, it's great. I'm glad that you guys are you guys. I think Rob said this. Rob Stucker said it, like in 5 years where you guys are going to be. I don't think you guys are even ready for it, because you guys are doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
And I think you do a good job of supporting all the fighters and keeping that neutral ground as much as you can. But it's you've provided a good outlet for these fighters to get recognized and start learning how to talk on microphones, because it's funny. You just put a microphone in front of their face, they just go, it's like, just talk. It's easy. Just talk. Just talk.
I always tell them too, like, don't worry, I get nervous too. Like Emmanuel Brown at the PFA 2, he won't lie, he was nervous. He was nervous during the Wayne interview, and like there was one question where he had to start over a few times, but then he fought, and then he did the post-fight interview with James, and then it was a dramatic difference. He was so comfortable, and like I even was talking to him after the fight too. It's like, hey, told you, you just gotta get rid of those nerves, and you're good.
Yeah, you're just it's like meeting a new person. Every time you grab a mic, I think of it that way. I'm meeting a new person, and I know when I'm meeting somebody and I want them to like me, I'm going to be super charming and I'm going to say stuff.
Yeah,
so that's exactly what I do every time I get in front of. That's the mentality I have. It's like I'm meeting somebody new. Let's work together. I'm just gonna. It's how I talk.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell jokes right now. That's great. I don't have to bare my soul to you. I just have to talk a little bit. The comfortability in watching these guys, they can sit there, punch each other in the face over and over and over again. You put a microphone in front of them, and they just.
Yeah.
And I get it. When I first when I was doing stand up, if I knew I was getting recorded, I would bomb. It's like, you guys.
It's the added pressure.
Just don't tell me you're doing it. Just do it. But no. But now I'd be like, why does nobody have their phone out? You all should be recording me. Look at me.
Exactly. And that's why, like, I understand with a lot of these fighters, and I really work hard for them to, like, be understanding with them if they don't want to do it. Like Dustin Gazik, before I did the post-fight interview with them, he actually told me, he's like, oh, no, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I've been ducking for a minute. I didn't realize he was doing that. Yeah. But it's just the nerves and the pressure, because if you think about it, with the Wayne interview, there's more pressure to it because you're like, oh, crap, I don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to knock this fool out, all this stuff, and then vice versa happens. So it's like you don't want to jinx yourself. You don't want to do this and that, and it adds that pressure in that first interview. But then the post-fight, way different. And then after the first event, they get so much more comfortable doing the Wayne and the post-fight interviews.
I think how we do it without doing the in-ring interview, we send them away, give them that minute, that second to collect, process what happened. I think that's a good move. Because seriously, you can have them in there. They can't breathe. They can't think. They're like, I want to thank my mom. Come on,
exactly. They're still trying to catch their breath.
Just keep going. So just sending them out. I think that worked out really good for us. I was gonna say something. I can't remember what it was, but it's okay.
It's okay. We'll change the subject.
It's just cool to see it. To see these guys learn, get comfortable in their skin. And this is what I was going to say. For any fighter watching this, I want all of you to be Sean Strickland. Do not be afraid to be Sean Strickland, okay? It'll just make my job funner. It'll make your experience better, and everyone will love you. We just want all of you to be Sean Strickland. Okay?
Yeah, that's why I have so much respect and love for Sean Strickland, because even though he can say some pretty out-of-pocket stuff, but what you see is what you get. He's not hiding behind a facade. He's not hiding behind a mask. He's being authentic and true to himself. And like saying it right now, too, all of my best interviews, all the highest views, most watch time interviews are the ones where the fighters are just the most true and authentic to themselves.
Yeah, just be yourself. Like, that's all you can do. That's all you can do. I mean, we're going to have people that want to play heel. Heel. We want people that want to be calm, reserved, Be Anderson Silva if you need to. Be that professional, polite, and there are those guys that come out and they're always thankful but I need someone out here talking trash. Okay, I need it, and I think Rob and Todd get mad at me when I'm like, no, we don't want that. It's like, yes, we do. We want all of it. We want all of it because it sells tickets.
Yeah,
it brings people in. Who's this guy? Why is he running his mouth? And if he gets beat up, half of people that came to watch him get beat up are going to be happy. The other ones are going to be like, I hope he talks more shit.
Exactly. Like, I'm trying to figure out who it was on the first card. He was the guy that had the nickname McQueen.
Oh yes, McQueen. His new name is Corazon, one of Sean Martin's students out of Union Combat. And he actually won his fight. Kid had a lot of heart, so now his new fight name is Corazon.
Nice, I love that. And when he was like, because he's trying to go for that flashiness. He's wearing, like when I did the first interview, he's wearing all the extra jewelry, looking nice, clean, slick. And then he's like working very hard to be presentable, to be articulate. And then when James did his post-fight interview, he was having a blast. He was yelling into it, like, you guys are going to know my name and all this stuff. Like, it was so cool.
That's awesome.
It was so cool. I love it.
They got to come out of their skin. Like, that's for, like, it's, I know some have asked to sit down with me to teach them. They want to sit down and learn how to just, it's like the only, be more comfortable on the microphone. It's like all you can do is just practice. If you need to sit down at home with the camera running and just talk into it, and post, that can help you 100%. You just got to get comfortable not thinking about what you're saying. I don't think about what I say.
Yeah.
I just say it. Sometimes that's a mistake. Sometimes I probably should think about what I say, but it just, if you get so stuck up in your head, you're never going to get.
Yeah.
No one's going to get to know who you are. So you got to just be yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like that hump that you have to get over, because it's like even when I first started doing this, it's worrying about people taking things I say too literal, that they don't necessarily understand the nuance of the conversation, but that's something you're never going to escape. So say fuck it, just move over the hill, deal with it. You know, it's better to throw the dice and deal with what you roll with, and then instead of just never throwing the dice at all. So it's literally in the past 2 years, I've done over 400 interviews, and I only did probably this show, Josh Said What, probably like 15 episodes before ever doing any other interviews. But I literally just jumped right into it, started interviewing, recording. Like, the best way to do it is just jump into it.
Just got to do it. And I know I still get super nervous. Like that first PFA show, I walked into that ring and I was like, is this really worth it? I was so nervous. Like, I'm just going to be up here making an ass out of myself. And you just have to do it. Nobody else is going to do it. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
You just got to be like, all right, suck it up.
Like,
just suck it up. Just do it. If you say something wrong, you say something wrong.
You
and
say, sorry, guys.
Yeah, it happens.
And you know, that's the thing, too. Like, sometimes if you think too much, you overthink it, that's going to cause you to fuck up. But it's like, we're all human, and we're just another human that's behind the mic and camera. We have more pressure because we're trying to make sure we have everything correct. So sometimes we say the wrong thing, or a speech impediment comes out, or just it comes out the wrong way.
I stutter, or I lisp sometimes. I don't always have a lisp, but sometimes it just comes out.
Yeah.
I can't help it.
Yeah.
So it's just like I'm doing my best, guys. All right.
Yeah, no, you're doing a phenomenal job, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I like hearing that, because I honestly, when I say that I have no idea what I'm doing, I have no idea what I'm doing. It's literally just I'm winging it. I've seen it on TV. I can do that. And I think that helps bring a little bit more originality, some authenticity to what I'm doing, because I'm not trying to be anybody else. I'm not going to wear silly jackets. I'm not going to come out,
You're just being you.
Just being me.
Yeah.
I
encourage that.
The man in black. Let's do it. Just gonna wear a black suit all the time.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you're doing a genuine, phenomenal job, because you can see the passion and the authenticity is the two biggest things. Whenever you're announcing the fights, you can see the passion, you can see the authenticity, and you can see just the pure joy that's on your face when you're doing it. So it's major praise to you, man.
It's so much fun. It's the coolest job in the world.
Exactly.
It's the coolest job in the world. And for anyone who can find something they love as much as I love ring announcing, I hope everybody can, because it has changed my life. It's made my life happier, and I have something once a month to look forward to that makes me so happy. Like, I get to do this. I get to announce these fighters that I know some of them are going to be great, and I get to be the first one to say their name. And just it's the coolest feeling. It's the best feeling in the world, and I absolutely love what I do.
Yeah,
so
I completely agree.
Love it.
Hell
love it. It's the coolest. Being in the fight world, it's the coolest thing you could do. I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I love it.
Sorry to all the firefighters out there. My job is cooler. All right? Don't get the ladies like you do, but it's cooler. All right?
You got the mustache and the beard. Don't worry.
Got the mustache and the beard. I'm half, it works.
I love it. And so, looks like we're going to wrap up. So, before I let you go, do you want to give any special shout-outs? Anybody you want to thank, praise, or anything you want to say?
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could, please give me a follow at Ryan the Herald on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook at Ryan Hollimon. Please come down, check out Electric Haven Tattoo and Barber Shop here on McClintock and Southern in Tempe, Arizona. Super happy that they let us use this space. And, they got a lot of cool stuff in here. Great haircuts. You guys, the mustache and the beard, it's all this. Okay? There's a bar next door that sells beer to go. So you can come in here, hang out, and drink beer. while you get your hair cut. But again, yeah, I think that's it. Shout out to Rob Stucker, Todd Whitmoyer, Mel Carey, Flash Media Sports, Mr. Rob Alexander. Thank you guys for supporting me. Again, follow me at Ryan the Herald. And Josh, I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you, man.
So much. Hope I didn't talk too much.
No, you killed it, man. You killed
right.
it. Hey, this is the podcast that'll change the world.
See, changing the world. Okay, one day at a time. One little baby step. He's going to do it. He's going to do it.
Hell yeah. And for you folks at home, make sure to like, share, subscribe, follow, do all of that. And hey, see you in the next one.